everybody says think positive, think positive. But most of the times we're thinking positive, but we are feeling lack, feeling negative. Thinking abundance, but we are feeling lack. We're thinking of a great relationship, we're feeling hurt or resentful. The secret lies in not about in thoughts, not in thinking, but in feeling.
How would you define meditation?
In true sense, a true meditation is basically emptying your mind, silencing the mind, stillness of the mind. It's not about verbal silence, it's more about mental silence. What you feel about is what you bring about. The secret is the feelings are equal to prayers. There are two ways to manifest what you want in your life. One is through doing action and hard work and effort. By the time you achieve your deadline, you are dead. There's a much fun way of doing things, which is by changing your vibration. How do you change your vibration? By changing your thoughts, by changing your emotions.
But the attention span is low. What would you suggest to them?
Meditate.
Good morning, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our podcast with the happiness community. I have with me today Shreans Daga. Shreans Daga is a successful entrepreneur and spiritual teacher based in India. He's the founder of Spiritual Daga Foundation, which offers guided meditations, breathwork sessions, and spiritual courses aimed at personal transformation. He also serves as the chairman of the Pyramid Valley International, a non-profit spiritual organization in Bangalore dedicated to self-realization. He has shared platforms with renowned speakers and masters like Bruce Lipton, Greg Bratton, Jim Quick, and Jack Canfield. Thank you, Shreyans, for joining us today. Welcome to the Thinkly platform.
Thank you, Ashu, and thank you, Thinkly, for hosting me. Thank you so much.
So, you started meditation, I remember as we were chatting together recently, meditation at a very young age, when people are still thinking about how to become successful, how to grow big in the business and validation, you went into the realm of meditation. Tell us a little about your journey of meditation to becoming a spiritual teacher.
Yeah, so the year was 1993. I was in second year college, Bombay, and suddenly my father passed away. I was 19, my father was 46. So it was sudden death, and I was in a state of shock, going through a lot of grief and anxiety, insecurities. Next 3 years, over a period of next 3 years, I slipped into depression. From a casual drinker, I became a compulsive drinker. And after 3 years, I was detected with chest tuberculosis. And that was the time I really broke down and I said, I need some help, somebody to guide me now. And that was the time when I got introduced, coincidentally, I got introduced to one spiritual teacher, Brahmashi Patriji. And he was coming to Bombay, so he happened to stay with me. And he saw me popping so many medicines for the TB. And I explained to him, he asked me, why are you taking this medicine? So I explained to him my journey of last 3 years. And he said, your TB is like a fire alarm, but the real fire is your grief, your insecurity, your anxiety. So unless you heal the root cause, you're not really healing yourself in the long run. But I said, I don't know any way better. So he said, that's why I'm here today. And for the first time, I meditated with him. So he was playing flute and he told me, let's meditate for 10 minutes. And I had a chest TB, so I was feeling a strong flow of energy flowing into my chest during meditation. And when he told me to open my eyes, it was almost 40 minutes. I had no idea how time flew. And I felt so calm and peaceful. That feeling was so profound that I have forgotten in last 3 years that, oh, I can feel this way. And that really intrigued me. There's something in meditation. And then I asked him many questions, and that's how my spiritual journey started. Then he told me that if you meditate for 40 days, you will heal yourself without any medicines, without any medication, only through meditation. And that inspired me. And I took that inspiration. I took that challenge. And because my first experience of meditation was so good, so and And then he left next day. While leaving, he gave me two books, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy and The Elements of Visualization by Ursula Markham. And when I got these two, so he told me in next 40 days, you finish these two books. And while doing that, you continue meditation. I got hooked on to those books. First time I realized, oh, our subconscious mind is so powerful. First time when I read Elements of Visualization, first time I realized, oh, our imagination is so powerful and how we can create whatever we want. And we create our own reality. All these concepts were very alien to me, but that was so empowering. And I continued meditation. I got hooked on to meditation. I used to meditate even 6 hours in a day in intervals. And after 30 days, I was due for my chest X-ray. I got my X-ray done. I went to the doctor, showed the X-ray, and the TB was completely gone.
Wow.
So that was a very humbling moment for me, empowering yet humbling, because without medicines, just through meditation, even the teacher left a day later, and just by self practicing, I could do that. And from there, I got an inspiration that in this lifetime, now I want to spread meditation to everyone. So I didn't start teaching that time. I just used to organize these masters workshops, Patrisas workshops, and invite all spiritual masters from all around the world, hold their and offer their workshops in India. It's just that last 6 years, I had a goal that if I make so much money, once I gain my financial independence, then I'll go into teaching. So I achieved my goal by 2012, but somehow once you spend 20 years making money, you get addicted to making money. So, so I still didn't leave it. Finally, in 2018, I finally made a call that no, I now I'm feeling restless. Money making is no more exciting me. It's no more giving me any satisfaction. So I have to follow my path now and my passion and purpose. And that's when I started teaching. And then COVID happened. So online things started like Zoom classes, and then it grew. And since then, I've been into teaching now.
Well, bless you for actually taking a step back to first Patri sir for showing you the power of meditation, and then for devoting your life to making meditation not just a way of life for yourself, but for the world. What I'd really like to know is, how would you define meditation? You know, people give everything is called meditation these days because you've
So,
seen the healing part of it. So,
right. So, in true sense, a true meditation is basically emptying your mind, silencing the mind, stillness of the mind. It's not about verbal silence, it's more about mental silence. And that is what Buddha discovered, that why is there suffering in the world? Because we identify with things. We identify with world of things. My car, my house, my wife, my children, you know, my friends. And and because of that identification, we have that attachment to things. While outside things are all changing, always changing, but we cling on to something which is always changing, like we are trying to hold the water bubble. So Buddha discovered that to and all these outside things create resistance. So Buddha discovered to elevate the suffering. The root cause is our identity, our ego, our personality self, which identifies with things. Our identity identifies with things outside. So how do we drop our identity? How do we drop our ego or personality self? How do we give it rest or suspend our identity for the time being? So then he realized that, oh, if there are no thoughts, there's no identity. Our identity exists in the thoughts. When we sleep, when you go to sleep in the night, there are no thoughts, right? And our identity vanishes while sleeping. Morning we get up, again I realize, oh, I'm Shreans Daga. I have my this business problem, my this family problem, and the resistance comes in, and then the suffering starts. So he discovered that to drop identity best is to how do we become thoughtless? How do you stop thinking? And Buddha discovered to stop thinking. The most and easiest and the best way to stop thinking is observing the breath. He called it anapanasati. Ana means inhalation, pana means exhalation, And sati means to be with your breath. So anapanasati means to be with your inhalation and exhalation. When you are with your inhalation and exhalation, slowly, slowly your thoughts start reducing and you go into a state of no mind state, that emptiness. And that emptiness is not empty. Actually, it is not an experience. It is in true sense, it is an experience of emptiness. It is not an empty experience, but an experience of emptiness. And that emptiness is in true sense is a very powerful, potent state, full of potentials, full of possibilities. Because when nothing is certain, anything is possible. So, and when you go into that emptiness state, when you drop your identity, all the resistance drops. The moment all the resistance drops, we connect to our consciousness. We connect to that pure consciousness, that infinite source. And that source is our ultimate resource. Is our infinite resource because it is pure love, pure joy, pure wholeness. And that is our true nature. It's not like when you meditate, you get happiness from outside. That the true nature is Satchitanand. And when you connect to that inner being, we experience pure joy, pure love, that wholeness, that healing, right? And that is where that is when that is what true meditation is. And the beauty is when you find that happiness within, then you don't need to chase it outside because then you realize, oh my God, because everything that we do in our life is for an emotional payoff, right? If I get this, then I'll be happy. If I get this, then I'll be happy. But you realize that, oh, the same payoff, I can get it just by silencing my mind. So then the attachment to outside things naturally drop away. And when the attachment to outside thing naturally drops away, then the suffering is gone.
Simple, profound, yet the quest of many and the journey of everybody's life is
That
learning how to silence the mind and find that wholeness within. And so, you talked about how the subconscious mind, once we connect, drop our false identity and
yeah.
reconnect with that state of wholeness or pure love, pure consciousness, we have the power to manifest miracles. What
Yeah.
techniques do you recommend? Because there are lots of, when I was reading about you, there are lots of techniques that you recommend to people other than meditation to unlock this power. Could you tell us about some other techniques?
So of course, the first and primary technique which I teach is through meditation. The reason why is meditation directly transforms the emotional state. See, how does manifestation work? How law of attraction works basically? Manifestation nothing but understanding law of attraction, make it work for you, right? So our thoughts are electric, our feelings are magnetic. Our thoughts send the signal out, but it's the feelings which draw the event back, right? So thoughts are the language of the brain, but feelings are the language of the body. Because all this, whatever we have experienced ever in our life, we have experienced it through the moment you feel it, you store it in your subconscious mind. And our body represents the subconscious mind. And our body just feels all this. Our body is nothing but a memory bank of all these emotions. So all these emotions are stored in our body. And then any same experience when it's repeated, our body just feels it. Because body carries the memory of the same emotion. So many times we may be thinking abundance, right? Everybody says think positive, think positive. If you want to change your life, if you want to manifest things in your life, think positive. But most of the times we're thinking positive, but we are feeling feeling negative. Thinking abundance, but we are feeling lack. We're thinking of a great relationship, we're feeling hurt or resentful. So our thoughts and emotions are in opposite direction. But the truth is, our thoughts are electric, feelings are magnetic. So how you think and how you feel, you broadcast an electromagnetic signature into the quantum field, and that's how we draw the event back into our life. So unless we combine our thoughts with thus corresponding elevated emotions, we cannot get what we want in our life. So the key is not about the key lies the secret lies in not about in thoughts, not in thinking, but in feeling. So unless you're able to feel it, what you feel about is what you bring about. Right? The secret is the feelings are equal to prayers. Feeling a state
Beautifully said.
produces that state, you know. Yeah.
Beautifully said. Takes me back to about 25 years ago when I recognized that I had suppressed or denied my feelings. I needed to bring this congruence in myself
Right.
to change my life.
Right. Absolutely. There
And
has
you,
to be congruence, absolutely, between
yeah,
thoughts, emotions. Yeah.
you've really right now, as you talked about the electromagnetic field and the whole quantum science, you talked about that. Spirituality is nothing but ultimately a science. People may not recognize it because end of the day, life is energy, we are energy, and everything is about whether we talk of frequencies, law of attraction, emotions, it's always energy.
Absolutely.
How do you bridge this gap, this concept of spirituality and science? You explain, for people to manifest, understand it and manifest. Not everybody is able to relate to this. Our thoughts are, one is electric, one is magnetic. Is there a, how do you bridge it for them in real life?
Right. So nowadays, quantum physics, that's why I involve a lot of quantum physics, neuroscience, brain waves, chakras, epigenetics, so the food gut bit connection, so that it's all backed by science. And luckily, we have now the science has evolved to a point where it is bridging the gap between spirituality and science. Science has really bridged that gap, especially the quantum science, quantum mechanics, right?
Correct,
So, as Nikola Tesla said, if you want to understand the secrets of the universe, think in terms
mm,
of energy, frequency, and vibration.
correct.
And what is law of attraction? We are now everything that we are seeing is from the lens of energy, frequency, and vibration. It's nothing new. Law of attraction is similar to it's the same law of karma. But you know how we used to think of law of karma or how we relate to karma means we feel action. Oh, I must have done something wrong in my past. But law of attraction is the same thing, but it is seeing from the lens of not just action, but also your thoughts, your emotions.
Mm,
Because your thoughts and emotions changes your vibration. And whatever is your vibration is what you'll attract in your life. So I may not have done anything wrong towards you, but even I am feeling angry towards you, and in my own mind, not even expressed, but that is changes my vibration, and then I'll draw more things in my life which will trigger me more, or people will express more anger towards me because that is my vibration. So so it is same law of karma, but but seen from a more subtle lenses of energy, frequency, and vibration.
very interesting. Thank you so much for that. Um, could you tell me some practical ways that leaders who get so busy, you are a business leader as well, and practicing meditation, integrating it into your daily life? Most common complaint is, I don't have the time to
Absolutely.
sit for that. Time is what is the most precious element for everybody. How do you suggest to them to integrate meditation and spirituality into their daily life without compromising all the roles and responsibilities?
Of course. So I always tell them meditation is actually a time saving mechanism, because as business people we are always so focused on doing. But what is more important is your change is your state of being while you're doing what you're doing. Because see, I always tell them there are two ways to manifest what you want in your life. One is through doing action and hard work and effort, and struggle and going through all the challenges and pains and ups and downs. But there's a that is a hard way. And people just in the long run, people just get burnout, right? By the time you achieve your deadline, you are dead. But there's an easier way. There's a much fun way of doing things, which is by changing your vibration. How do you change your vibration? By changing your thoughts, by changing your emotions, by withdrawing from the current situation. When you're going through challenges, I tell them at that moment, you need to withdraw from the current situation so that you drop all resistance, you drop your, and come to a state of inner alignment. First, find your inner alignment. First, when you're in a right state of being, then you activate the whole whole quantum world to work for you. Otherwise, you're working alone. You're struggling alone. But the whole law of attraction will work for you when your vibration is in sync with what you want, when you're in a state of alignment.
Hmm.
So what happens for a business people like and I have experienced this. When we are going through challenges, we all the more get panicked. We're in a flight and fight mode and we work harder. But we are doing it from a state of desperation, right? So our action is, so we need to do act more to compensate for the energy not flowing. But when you're in a state of alignment, then you need to act less and the energy, your vibration does rest of the job. That's how you draw more synchronicities and serendipities in your life. That's how you draw more meaningful coincidences in your life. So meditation actually, and then the journey becomes joyful. See, I always say there's never any destination because destination is a moving goalpost. Every stage of life, we have a new destination, right? But what is more important? The journey is the destination. If the journey is joyful, then the destination will be joyful, and meditation makes the journey joyful. And then whatever you wanted to achieve in your life or manifest in your life, you will be able to manifest in a much shorter time because the whole law of attraction now is working for you. You will meet the right people at the right time, and people will call you lucky. And that's what happens because now the action is not taken out of desperation, but it's taken out of inspiration. You have a motive. The moment you get up from meditation, you feel motivated. There's a motive for action. And that is when you don't even, then it's no more effort and hard work. It's the joy of action. It is the fun of doing things. And and then so that's why we are called human beings. Human is about being, doing. But being is about the state of being, from what state of being you're doing what you're doing. And that differentiates us from animals and humans,
Yeah.
right?
True, true. So it's that state of being which, in a world of doing, is where the challenge comes for everybody. But it is the place of power, attraction, and manifestation. Totally, very well.
Yeah. I always tell people, energy management is more important than time management.
And
Because if
stress
you
is
manage your
there,
energy well, time will take care of itself.
and so will stress not be there.
And of course, and stress will not be there.
Yeah,
So that's why I tell a lot of my friends then, if you don't have time, it's like, it's like you don't have any gas in your car and you say, I don't have time to fill the gas.
nice example. Coming to since this is conversation is on the part of the happiness community platform, I'm going to ask you, what does happiness mean to you? You did talk about Satchitanand. You're talking about how you're joyful doing everything when you come from a place of inspiration. So how do you create and this happiness, and what does happiness really mean to you?
So for me, happiness is my alignment with my own source because that source is the infinite resource. So the moment I find my alignment, the moment I connect to my source, then happiness is overflowing. Happiness is joyful. And that is when uh, I'm unconditionally happy. Otherwise, everything is conditional outside, right? Oh,
Yeah,
if I get a car, then I'll be happy. If I get a house, but we confuse pleasure for happiness because that is only temporary. The moment that we get I bought a new car, I dreamt for a car for 10 years. Oh, when I make this much money, I'll buy a Mercedes. And in 2 days, the dopamine rush went away And then again, now I was chasing for something different now. So outside things, we confuse pleasure for happiness. True happiness comes when we find our own alignment. And that is a true nature. That is not something, all we need is to drop resistance and align to inner being and then come back to our own nature. So that is what true happiness means to me. But the good thing is when you change your emotional state, when you find your alignment, when you're in a state of joy and inspiration, when things change inside you, things start changing around you. That's again how manifestation happens effortlessly. Because law of attraction says, oh, you are happy? Okay, so let me bring more things into your life so which will make you more happy. Oh, you are grateful? So let me bring you more things in your life so that you can be more grateful about.
Yeah, so gratitude, kindness, happiness, they're also interlinked. And it's interesting how, while we all want it in our life, we keep searching for it, forgetting that we are the source of it all and we have it in our core.
Right, absolutely.
Balance, purpose. Purpose is a very big part of many people's life. How do I find my purpose? Do you
Right.
find your purpose? Does your purpose find you? What do you think is this whole concept of purpose all about?
So Rumi says, no, your heart knows the way. Go in that direction. So when you so as an ego, as an identity, we may not know our purpose,
Hmm.
the personality self, but our consciousness that our knows what is our purpose, what we are driven to, what brings a smile on my face, what is my path, what is my passion. And and for me, the simple formula is anything that excites you, and anything that excites your spirit, or anything that you're naturally drawn to, is connected to your path, passion, and purpose. Yeah, and the beauty is when you follow your purpose. Like for me, teaching was my purpose, and when I started teaching, I find immense joy and contentment in it, fulfillment. Otherwise, we find worldly success, but we don't find fulfillment. And I say success without fulfillment is an ultimate failure. Because what is the point? All through our life, we worked hard to get wealth. By the time we got the wealth, we have lost our health. Then we can never be fulfilled. We can never have that content. So, but but once you follow your purpose, then your purpose protects you. Purpose takes care of you, and it gives you so much of fulfillment. The reward is I would say completely uh, not it's exponential. It's not additional. It's exponential. So so that's why I feel that purpose is important, and it's important to find our purpose and follow that path.
So here's a question. Another, you talked about the ego personality needs to have answers. The heart knows the way, and sometimes we subconsciously follow the way. And there's a tug of war that continues till the ego submerges and surrenders to the heart.
Right.
How do we cope in that phase? How do leaders, particularly who are so driven with having a sense of identification, driven with having answers, how can they cope with this tug of war in their head and heart?
So again, meditation is a powerful tool. Because see, the idea when we are faced with challenges, that is the time we lose our alignment. And the only way we can find alignment when we drop our identity, because when we drop our identity, when we become nobody, when we become nothing, nowhere, no place, no time, when you empty our mind, we withdraw from that situation. The moment we withdraw from that challenge, from that situation, we lose resistance. And that is how we find alignment. So it is in that moment, it is important to withdraw from the situation, take a back seat. If you have lost your alignment, then take a back seat, 10 minutes, observe your breath, be with your breath, do some deep breathing, find your alignment. And then when you come back, now you have a new perspective. Sometimes you have a new ideas, some creative desires, creative thinking is born. Now, otherwise, what happens is when we go through challenges, we are so focused on problems. We are so narrow focused, and we are focusing only on problem. We are never looking at the solution. We become, because things that troubles us occupies most of our mental space, right? And wherever our attention goes, energy flows. Wherever energy flows, the universe shows. Because our energy is the currency of the universe.
Correct,
Wherever,
correct,
whatever you give your energy to, you buy that experience in your life. And as business people, or any other, everybody else, we all know what we want, and we all know what we do not want. But most of the time, we give our energy on what we do not want. And by unintentionally, by focusing on what we do not want, we are giving an energy to that, and then we buy more of that experience in our life.
so the more we live with awareness or consciousness, the more we direct our energy in the direction that we want it rather than just dissipating it everywhere.
Absolutely, so well said. So awareness is the key.
Yeah.
With closed eyes, meditation; with open eyes, awareness.
One piece of wisdom, your meditation for your, sorry, uh, one piece of advice for people who are the youth, especially always looking for the attention span is low. They want miracles, they want things fast. What would you suggest to them?
Meditate. That's the way to get things
No,
fast.
absolutely. It's like meditate,
That's the
meditate,
way. Yeah,
meditate. Yeah.
yeah.
Med-
That's the way to create miracles. I
yeah.
mean, our breath is so freely available. Why will we use? No, why shouldn't we use it to our advantage?
Yeah.
And through that we can create miracles. That is the shortcut to joy. Why do I have to depend on something that I get that then I'll be happy? Why not take a shortcut and go happy now? Because all said and everything that we do in our life is for that emotional payoff of, say, happiness.
That is so true. Everything and anything that we do is starts and end with seeking happiness.
7.9 billion people, everybody has the same common goal. So, so that's why I say, why not take a shortcut? Go and get happy now.
Yeah.
We don't need to look it in some expensive shop or some bottle. We just go within, connect to a being, and find that
You are
instant flow.
you are short circuiting all the retail markets completely and saying, listen, withdraw and go inwards. Or no, just that was on a lighter note.
No,
Uh,
but that's true in a way because they can't sell energy, right?
yeah,
So,
yeah.
so that's why they have to sell a product and they have to market that product. But I enjoyed this conversation, Ashu. Your question was so apt. I loved the flow of how we went
Thank you,
through.
Shreyans. I've been really, it's been very meaningful, very fulfilling. And, when you're in a zone of two people who are happy, it's expansive happiness.
Absolutely, yeah.
So here's a question we have. How do I meditate if someone who does not like to sit still for a long period of time, is it normal? I'll ask you the questions as we go along. So first, how do you meditate if you can't sit for a long period of time?
Yeah. So then do breath work. See, breathwork is another technique. In fact, you can download my app, Soul Lab. It's a free app. We have all the meditations and breathwork on the app. So breathwork is an intense breathing. It's more like a pranayam, or it's like a trainer in the gym who is pushing you to breathe. And so we use our body as an instrument of consciousness. So by through activity, you go into the state of complete deeper silence and meditative state. So I meet a lot of people who are used to activity. They can't just sit quiet and observe the breath, and empty their mind. So then I tell them to do an activity to come out of the activity. So that is where breathwork health is a powerful tool.
Thank you for that. Next question. Is it normal to feel emotional after a meditation session, and why does that happen?
So you're tapping into your subconscious. You go into from beta state, you go into the alpha state. So that means you're going to the subconscious. That is where all our emotions are stored. So many times, all these buried, suppressed, survival based, fear based emotions, or they all surface up, they all come up. But the only way out is through it, so that it is get released. They're coming up to get released to forever. So many times we get emotional, we may see tears rolling down. And but that's a healing journey. That's the process. Sometimes we see a shadow side, right? I
Yes, thank
always
you
say
for that. Yeah.
first we wake up to our light, then we wake up to a shadow, and then we wake up to ourselves.
Long process.
That's the journey. Yeah.
I know, I know. And facing to that shadow self is where I think many of us run away. Uh,
True.
is there a right way to meditate, or is it a personal experience?
So personally, I feel meditation is truly emptying of the mind. And I love the technique which Buddha taught, Anapansati. But if anybody has any technique or any other techniques or any many meditations which can lead you to emptying of the mind, then it works for you. And if that works for you, it's great. The idea is meditation is not for meditation. The meditation is to make your life better. Meditation is for mental and emotional transformation. So if anything else resonate with you, it's fine, you know.
Yeah, it's not to make it harder.
Yeah, it's not to make it harder.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What is the most surprising benefit of meditation that people don't usually talk about? I thought we talked about healing miracles. We did. So, is there something else you'd like to add to it?
Basically, life becomes effortless. You're in a state of flow. You're in a state of inner joy, peace, calm, content. So your state of being changes. Even if you are wanting money, it is about excitement of money, not from, oh my God, I'm desperate to have money. I feel lack. So that acceptance comes and you're in a state of flow. And then you start drawing things in your life effortlessly. You're
Yeah. So
always in a state, and no
you
matter
move.
whether the situation is adverse or challenging, you are so resilient and so adaptive because you know that you don't panic, because now you don't fear the unknown, because you know that my happiness lies within me. Then what is there to worry? If good happens, good. If bad happens, still good.
Yeah, because it's again for me only.
Yeah, exactly. And then you know that life is not happening to you, life is happening for you. Right?
That's where I think the distinction lies, where life starts happening for you and you flow with life effortlessly and you partner with life rather than struggle with life.
Absolutely. All the resistance, we drop all resistance. That is what the path of least resistance, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, beautiful conversation. Thank you again, Shreyans. This has been really wonderful.
Likewise, I really enjoyed it. So thank you, Ashu, and thanks to all the audience for taking out your time and for the gift of your time and attention. Thank you so much. Really
Thank
enjoyed.
you. Thank you very much.